Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and there's going to be a bit of thunder here, guys. Sorry, there's a thunderstorm going on outside, but I've got to get some videos up. All right, guys, another day, bench pressing, day 4. Workout changes now, and I told you guys, again, the first 3 workouts done 3 days in a row was just to start to prime my nervous system again to bench. Now it's time for accumulation work. For those unfamiliar with accumulation work, it's usually relatively low reps for moderate weight, and you build sets. And when you get to a pre-prescribed number of sets, you add weight, reduce the sets, and repeat. In this case, now that we've established a little bit of a baseline, doing 5s at 235, went to 245 today. Obviously, I've got some warm-ups in here. And, you know, there's a big misconception out there. People are always like, Jason, you said warm-ups don't prevent injuries. That's the worst thing you've ever said. Like, I've been slammed for that. I don't believe warm-ups prevent injuries. That doesn't mean I don't warm up. I just don't believe that my warm-up stopped me from getting hurt. I don't think it makes any difference at all. I believe, honestly and truly believe, warm-ups exist purely for the purpose of priming your nervous system for your heavy lifts. All right? That's a good thing. That's a good reason to do warm-ups. That's a benefit, right? I think all of us agree. Having your nervous system primed for your heavy sets, your work sets, is a good thing. But if you think it's going to keep you from getting hurt, I'm sorry, you're a dumbass. You really are. You're stupid. That includes the Steve Shaws of the world who, with torn hamstrings and stuff, they're stupid. Now, here we go. We're going to go to these triples. I decided to establish a baseline because I'm going to bench press and do this at least 3 times this week. 3 bench sessions this week. All right? They're not going to be necessarily back-to-back, but I'm going to squeeze in 3 of them. We're establishing our baseline, 245. For triples, and I did 6 sets of them today, and I made sure that I left a set in the tank. Why? Because I'm going to have to repeat this 2 more times. I'm going to do this 3 workouts. What happens after that? We add a set, which means next week we do 7 sets. Then the next week we do 8 sets, then 9 sets, then 10 sets. Now, people say, what's the point? Trains you to lift a relatively heavy weight with a lot of first reps. You notice I'm coming in, I'm pausing, and I always take a long pause on the 3rd rep because this is for speed strength, this is for power. Everything is treated the same way that I would a single. If I was going to really attempt something as a max, every rep is done the same way. Everything is set up tight, every rep is with perfect technique. All right, we're getting a lot of first reps here because we're going to build up to 10 sets of triples. That's going to be 10 first reps in every workout. That's training you for singles. When I'm done with this accumulation training, when I reach 10 sets of 3 with this weight, that means I should be able to comfortably hit 3 plates, right? So what we're doing, we're just building up the nervous system. Lots of first reps, lots of low reps. We're not taking anything to fatigue. Why? Because we don't need to be fatigued to lift a weight explosively and powerfully. That's the point. We're coming in, doing accumulation work to build up to a max, and that's my belief that by the end of a month, I started doing this last week, that for me to come in and retrain my nervous system to bench 315 at least again, shouldn't take me more than a month. And now that we've established a baseline with 5, we go to triples and we rebuild it because I already have the muscle mass to do it. Look at the size of my chest, size of my triceps there. I benched 315 for 5 on camera with close grip before. 3 years ago when I was benching all the time, right? I still have just as much muscle mass in those areas. The overhead pressing has maintained my muscle. So even though I'm cutting right now and the scale's going down, I already have the muscle mass. I just have to retain it. Now I just have to train the motor pattern of the lift, and I'm going to come back and at the end of the month of doing this, I should be strong enough to hit 315. I don't necessarily have to do it. I'm probably going to do more accumulation work and not bother to test my max for a while. I'll probably wait till I'm up to 10 sets of 3 with 275 or something. But when I get to 10 triples in one workout with this weight, we're there. We're there. So I'm going to do this 3 times, and I'm going to split this up because this is a higher priority training right now, and because that my pulled trap seems to be healed, I'm going to ease back into front squats, deadlifts, stuff like that. I think I'm going to give them their own workouts. We'll figure out what days I'm going to do them on. The main thing is that today I chose not to do them. I wanted to come in and start this accumulation work, get it started. So I did this, and I did one accessory. I did the behind the neck press, and we need to talk about that a little bit. And I will. And by the way, I did one work set of this because I've already done 6 sets of bench. This is just to finish things off. This is to make sure my shoulders and my triceps get a little extra stimulation so that they don't start lagging if they're getting slightly deprioritized and my chest is getting worked a little more. Overhead pressing is important to me. So even though I'm fatigued, obviously I can't do a real heavy weight. I come in and do a work set behind the neck with 135, and that's okay. I've already benched. We're just trying to create a little bit of fatigue, make sure we stimulate those areas. Some people are asking what's with your grip, and several people have answered, and I like that other people know enough that they can answer the questions for me in the comments. This is the safest position. This is the hand position you use on a behind the neck press if you want to avoid hurting your shoulders. All right, if you do a full grip on a behind the neck press, you're one of those jackasses that gives the exercise a bad name because you're the person who gets hurt doing it. You're causing the bad reputation just because you don't know how to perform the exercise, and that's exactly what that is. By doing that, you can tuck the elbows a little better at the bottom. It allows your hands to rotate and your elbows and shoulders to rotate more freely. You're not locking them in to a position that taxes everything. It's better. It allows for better overall mobility. And it allows you to still do this exercise. It really focuses more on the entire delt than focusing entirely on the front delt, like some overhead pressing tends to overemphasize. And for those curious, that's why I do it. That's exactly why I do it. Then obviously I'm going to flip back in just the footage of some of my main work sets again here and finish talking about this. But here's the thing, guys. This is accumulation work. I'm going to do triples for max speed. I'm doing these as fast as I can with perfect technique. And you notice my foot position, get set in, there's my feet. You guys see I'm on the balls of my feet. I've dug in tight, ratcheted in tight. My butt is planted to that bench hard. My traps are planted to the bench hard. You get in tight, explode. Down, explode. Down, pause it, explode. All right, when you're tight like that, you can be explosive off the chest with a pause. Someone asked me also, are you trying to stay tight at the bottom, or are you trying to pause? Which is more important? Did I get loose at the bottom? If you're tight enough, you should be able to hold that bar on your chest for 10 seconds. God, you guys watched that C.T. Fletcher video with, what was that guy called? The Hulk is what he called him. He's just sitting there holding the bar on his chest. All right. That's power, that's strength. You should be able to hold it at the bottom. If you can't lift a respectable weight, pausing it all in your chest. 1, your pecs are weak. 2, you're not tight enough. That's it, guys. You've got to get tight on there. You've got to do it right, do it tight. All right, do it right, do it tight. So you get set in tight, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And notice none of these are hard. Some people are like, oh man, you're using such a light weight, you're so weak. It's like, do you see me working hard? Of course not. Come in and did 6 triples. Next week I'll be doing 7 triples. Week after that, 8 triples. This is with a weight that I can handle with perfect technique and just heavy enough to create some resistance so that I can push it up hard. I can be explosive, can train perfect reps, because right now I'm retraining the motor pattern of the exercise. The worst thing you can do when retraining the motor pattern on an exercise is to do a grinder that lets the bar get sloppy. Slow down. Use bad form. Because when you're learning something, what happens if you do it wrong? You start practicing it incorrect, you learn it incorrect. Practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes permanent. So if I come in and I do a bunch of triples and I build up to 10 sets of 3, and I have a week to where I do 30 triples with a moderately heavy weight, fast, explosive, and with perfect technique, what happens? You permanently ingrain perfect technique and lifting the bar explosively with maximum muscle fiber recruitment. That translates to a max. That also translates to a lot of exercise on your pecs and triceps, by the way. But it also translates to speed and power on a max. That's how you get strong, guys. That's why I tell you guys over and over and over, you come to the gym to build strength, not to demonstrate it. I'm going to say that again. We come to the gym to build strength, not demonstrate it. And you build strength by lifting a moderately heavy weight with perfect technique and perfect tightness and maximum speed and exertion over and over and over. over and over and over. And like I said, as soon as I get to 10 sets of this, we know that I'm at least 315 or more. So that's the goal for this phase, is to build up to where I can comfortably do 10 triples with this moderate weight. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.